It's an honor to have you here. If you want to start a journey of personal transformation together with Sadhguru, click on the link in the description of this video and learn more.
What you gather can be yours, but can never ever be you. I broke my heart into a million pieces and threw it across the world. Lot of people are worried, maybe we lose jobs. Of course, you must lose your job. They asked me for a passport. I didn't know what it is.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sir Sadhguru, welcome to Dubai. It's good to have you here. Honored to have this opportunity to speak to you. You've been on some big interviews. You've been with Joe Rogan, you were on Logan Paul's podcast. You've been on a lot of big interviews, and now I feel a lot of pressure on me.
Why?
Because now I need to match that. I need to ask big questions. It's just I think what are questions that are gonna make you remember this interview? I think about that. So that's what I was thinking about all night last night. What are the questions I'm gonna ask that'll make you think, that was a really insightful interview.
Okay, do that.
I'm gonna try my best. So, first of all, welcome to Dubai. We know you've been in Abu Dhabi, mashallah. What do you think of the country? I mean, you obviously know the story. It's not your first time visiting. What do you feel like when you're here?
Well, it's a case of… this entire nation is a case of the indomitability of a human spirit, indomitable nature of human spirit. You put them in a desert, you make it into a hub of the world in many ways.
Alhamdulillah.
It's a very significant manifestation of human vision, fantastic leadership and ability to use money and wealth in a most creative way. I think one of the best uses of money that you can see is here in terms of how transformed a desert, what it would have been without all this to live here, how harsh and tough it would have been and how they've made it, that they're drawing the world into this place is a phenomena. Yes, definitely, oil did it, but I'm sure everywhere there is some wealth if you want to use it well. So definitely it's a milestone in human spirit dominating over the hardships that nature can throw at you.
100%. And why are you here this time? I remember last time you came, I saw that. What's on the agenda this time?
I was part of this wellness… I'm kind of a wellness ambassador for Abu Dhabi. So they had a festival, the Kayan festival. So I came there, was there for 3 days. Yesterday I met the culture and tourism minister who was in charge of that whole thing and participated there in a few events. So I'm in Dubai, weather is good, I thought I'll golf a bit and meet a few old friends. Many Indians are here, and also local people.
I want to start right into it. I want to get into the depth of the questions.
I thought you started some time ago.
Yeah, this is really the build-up. This is the build-up, the casual conversation to build up to the more in-depth questions that I have, because you're someone who leads a spiritual life. You're an ambassador for a lot of wellness and things of that nature. So I'm curious, how did you get into this life of spirituality and making it something that's at the forefront of what you do every day?
The word spiritual is one of the most corrupted words in the world today, because for somebody spiritual means looking up, for somebody spiritual means ghosts in a bottle, for somebody spiritual means spirits in the bottle, all kinds of things. It's the most contaminated word, unfortunately. So let me put it this way. You're here, the body that you have, you were not born like this, I believe. No.
Smaller.
Small. Slowly you gathered this. How? Food that you've eaten. Nor were you born with a mind like this. You gathered impressions. So your body is a heap of food that you gathered, mind is a heap of impressions that you gathered. If you have to gather this much, there must be something more fundamental. Apart from that, what you gather can be yours, but can never ever be you. So in these two heaps of food and impressions, where are you? No. So what is the nature of your existence? No. A simple question is this: anything that you use, People are using cameras, people are using phones, people are using computers, or a car or a machine, whatever. The more you know about it, the better you can use it. Do you agree with me? What do you know about this, apart from the things that you gathered? So, this bothered me since a very early age. When I was 4, 5 years of age, I started wondering, what is it about? Don't misunderstand that I was some kind of a spiritual child. No, I was a wild creature, okay? But in the back of my mind, always I look at anything and everything, whether I see an ant or a leaf or anything, I always looking at what is it, all this. When I was like 4.5 years of age, this started that if I see a dry leaf, I'm just looking at it for hours. If I find a glass of water, I'm just looking at it for hours. So similarly, I sat up in the night and I'm just staring into the darkness for the whole night. So my father my dear father being a physician, started thinking I need a psychiatric evaluation. This boy is simply staring at something all the time, it looks like he's lost it. My problem is I'm looking at this, I don't know this, so I'm not able to shift my attention to that. So, essentially, the fundamental of spiritual process is this. It is not knowledge, it is not scripture, it is not somebody's teaching. If you realize you actually don't know anything in this world, then your intelligence can't help. Start seeking, what is it? And if you seek here, there, you will see somehow you're touching every life only in the surface. The only life you can penetrate into is this one. So you turn inward. So this happened not because of any teaching, not because I had any spiritual knowledge or scripture or something, no. Just happened simply because my mind wouldn't allow me to rest till I know something about what this life is about. This inquiry is there in every human being. We destroy it by instilling belief systems upon that.
I have a question for you, but I need to clarify something I read before I ask the question. You started in business with a chicken farm, correct?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. And the main thing that was interesting is you started a chicken farm because it didn't require much of you so that you could focus on other things that you were interested in.
No, my thing was, I crisscrossed India on my motorcycle at that time. When I went to Nepal border, they asked me for a passport. I didn't know what it is. I thought I have my driving license, I can go anywhere. They said, no, you need a passport. So I turned back and came and applied for a passport. And then I knew I need money. So I wanted to do something without getting too entangled. I do that business, have enough money, and I will ride across the world.
Okay. On that note, so essentially the business was funding things that you loved. But a lot of times you hear people say, focus on the work that you love and make that the source of your income. You'll find happiness through that. If you're doing what you love, you won't work a day in your life. Where you started a business and it funded the things that you actually loved.
See, it's like this. Like some of the studies show that in United States, 70% of the people claim they hate their work.
Oh.
Thank God it's Friday. You heard of that?
Yeah, I heard of that. TGIF. Yeah.
So if you're a fool, you will do things that you don't like and suffer that. If you're an intelligent person, you will do what you love to do and enjoy what you're doing. But that can always change. But if your genius opens up, you learn to do whatever has to be done joyfully. Doesn't matter what I have to do. Even today morning somebody was asking, Sadhguru, which is your favorite golf course? I said, the one I'm playing right now. Always. Which is my favorite place in the world? Right now, Dubai. Who is the favorite human being in my life? Right now, it's you.
Thank you, sir. I'm honored. Thank you. Likewise.
Because when you're here, you think something else is better. You have destroyed your life.
What you said is interesting, and for me, you're someone that, at least from the outside looking in, you live free, true to your heart. And on the other side, you say 70% of people are in jobs or doing work that they hate. what does it take for more people to find the courage to live free and, follow their heart the way you do?
See, that's what. Solution means it's a hard path. You want to look at everything. You want to know everything by yourself. This is what this culture is about. Krishna said something, we revere him as a great human being or a great lord or whatever you want to call him. But you have to find your own truth. We admire and appreciate many people, but their truth is not my truth because till I experience it, it's not true for me. I will tell you something which you may like, which you may agree with, but still it doesn't work for you till it is reality for you. We've been talking about the sleeping hours.
Yeah.
For almost 26, 27 years, I slept only 2.5 hours a day on an average. That means many nights I did not sleep at all. Next day I made up a little bit like this. Later, slowly, as I aged, it became… not aged, more I became a bit lazy. So I started sleeping 3.5 hours. Now because after the surgery I'm sleeping 4.5 plus sometimes. Now I can tell you whatever, 2.5 hours sleep is good for you, it's enough. But if you sleep for 2.5 hours and get up, you'll be freaked.
Yeah.
So I can tell you whatever, till it becomes a reality in your experience, it's not true, isn't it? You may trust me and try to work towards it, but your trust doesn't translate into reality.
Yeah.
Only when it becomes true in your experience. So this is the nature of a seeker. He has to experience it because only your experience transforms you. My experience may inspire you, but it will not transform you. But religious process is not like that. Something happened somewhere and all of you believe it and everybody is supposed to be transformed. That is why it is a very… psychologically it gives you confidence, but it will never give you clarity. But confidence without clarity, as I said, I'll repeat this because most people don't get it, confidence without clarity in human life is the greatest disaster. People can do ugly things, terrible things to each other because they're confident without clarity.
On… for you also, Sadhguru, there's… everyone assumes that you're also someone who's a practitioner of Hinduism. Are you?
See,
you speak of Sanatana Dharma,
See.
you speak of the gods.
no.
Are you a Hindu, a practicing Hindu?
See, this practicing Hindu word or this term has come from practicing Christian, practicing Muslim. There is no such thing. Tell me what is the practice to be a Hindu?
To pray to the gods, I
No.
guess?
You can meditate and be a Hindu? No?
But why can't you meditate and be a Christian?
See, now you're talking a different thing. Meditation till recently they denied and they said it's devil's work, all right? Now they're accepting it because all the scientific studies are showing this is very good, now they're saying meditation, leave that. Go to the core belief. Is there something that you can define as Hindu practice?
I don't know, doing a puja.
You can worship a cow,
Yeah,
be a Hindu.
yeah,
Worship a snake, be a Hindu. Worship Shiva and be a Hindu.
yeah.
Worship Vishnu and be a Hindu. Worship Hanuman and be a Hindu. Worship Devi and be a Hindu. Worship a bamboo and be a Hindu. So, which practice is Hindu, I'm asking? I want you to know there is no such practice. What you call as Hindu today, don't ever use the word Hinduism. This is a British coined word, not ours. Hindu means it's a geographical identity. From Himalayas to Indusagara, this land that stretches here is Hindu. Why this land got identified with a certain civilization is because the civilization thrived here. Why did it thrive here? Because people had no means to come by ships and attack us in those days, nor could they cross Himalayas and attack us. So this was a land which remained in peace and development and evolution of human beings for over 6,000 years, undisturbed development of human civilizations. This is why we built cities like Mohenjo-daro, this is why so many things happened. There's still many unexcavated sites in the country which are 8, 12,000 years old. very evolved cities, all right? Dwaraka, other things are going on right now. Many of these cities lie between India and Pakistan border, so you can, if you dig means they can't dig, we can't dig, all right? That's the situation. So there is no Hinduism. Hindu, anybody who's born in this land is a Hindu. It's like if an elephant is born in Africa, you say an African elephant, isn't it?
So you're saying it's not Indian, it's Hindu.
Yes, you call it Hindustan till recently, right? Even now when you speak in Hindi, most of the time you're calling it Hindustan. Almost everybody.
Yeah.
At least in the neighboring countries, they're always referring to us as Hindustan, because everywhere it was known as Hindustan. Even today if you go to Lebanon and Syria, there are thousands of women whose names are Hind in that culture, because Hindustan was all over the place. So they called them Hind with great pride. The land of prosperity and wisdom was Hind. Even now you're standing up and saying Jai Hind, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let's not mix these things up. There is no Hinduism, Hindu land. Anything that's here is Hindu. It's not a religious identity, it's a geographical identity. Then there is something called as Sanatan. The word Sanatan literally means unlimited or, forever. What is forever, tell me, in this world? You are forever?
No.
I am forever? No. What is forever?
Maybe ideas?
Oh, your ideas? People
Not
who had
mine,
ideas…
not so much mine, no.
Anybody's ideas. 1,000-year-old ideas are all rejected today. All parents' ideas are rejected by the children. Yes or no? Ideas are just made up in our heads. What is forever? So there are certain basic laws which govern our existence, which are for always. So in this culture, we divided Shrutis and Smritis. Shruti is a tune set by the existence. If you understand the tune, Smriti is by memory. Now your parents taught you a language, your parents taught you how to dress, a culture, a certain way to be, certain way to eat, many things. The color of our life is our culture, all right? This is Smriti, this is only by memory. If I remove your memory, then you don't know how to dress, you don't know how to eat, you don't know, all right? You don't know who your parents are, who your children are, you don't know nothing. Because that's all memory, that's Smriti. So this is the only civilization which divided this in such wisdom. There are Shrutis which are eternal laws, and there are Smritis which generation to generation we make up according to the situations in which we exist. Whatever our parents taught us, we don't do the same thing. We adjust it to the realities of today. And that adjustment, if it becomes concretized, the next generation, your children will feel you are an ancient creature, all right? So why you look in the ashram, just see, most of them are young people.
Yeah.
Normally, spiritual centers are supposed to be full of old people. Just see, everybody is young people.
Yeah.
Why? Because I am not from Smriti, I am from Shruti. I am in tune. So, young or old, they feel completely in tune with what is being done here.
Oh.
So, this, what is in tune with everything in the existence is Sanatan, that's always going to be there. Whether you are there or I am there or nobody is here, no human being here, Sanatan is here.
So it's… if…
Let me say this.
Sure.
So, in trying to codify that, to put it down to paper, to put it down to people's understanding, certain things are done. Truth cannot be digested by most people as it is. Most people can't take a pill unless it's sugar-coated, isn't it? Even though it may save your life, you cannot take it. So, when it's expressed, you need to express in poetry, language, quote it like this, like that, without deviating from the basic truth, but little quoting. So this effort went on in this civilization, how to deliver truth to people, the different kinds of people. You are a young woman, if I say it one way, you will like it. If I say it another way, you won't like it, even if it's the truth. Yes or no?
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree.
So for you, we have to say it one way. So we said, the Devi is there, please go to the Devi temple, fantastic things, just go and see. So that guy comes, he thinks, I'm a man. Then I say, go sit in Adiyogi. It's like this, look at the man, he is the man, all right? Like this we quoted it for different people, but never deviated from the fundamental. So that civilization became Sanatan. Dharma means not a religion. Please change this in your narrative in the media. Dharma is not a religion. And there's lots of politics and small mafia working around that and all this stuff. So when they wanted to set up the first gantry in the port, that was the first gantry, big strike, all the coolies went on strike. What are we supposed to do if the gantry comes? On those days, a ship of something like 150 to less than 200,000 tons, they would take 26 to 28 days to unload. And they were happy doing it that way because that much labor they got. When the gantry was fixed, today the gantries that we have even in India and Singapore, wherever else, it can unload a ship of 250,000 tons in less than 24 hours. So they, at that time, they all went on strike and fought that you can't put up this gantry, it's going to take our livelihood away. So essentially what they were saying is, this machine will make our muscles redundant. Isn't it a good thing that happened, I'm asking? Hasn't that happened on all levels of our life? So if you had a water carrier bringing water from the river to your home every day and suddenly you got a pipeline and a tap, he will resist. Because what about my job? So now professors and academics are wondering, what about our jobs? Because a phone can teach physics, chemistry, mathematics, whatever you want, and it has many gigabytes more memory than a human being can ever have, probably. So they are wondering, how will we continue our professions? But I think world should get to a place where to run the world, the material requirements of food, needs and infrastructure, no human being should be involved, everything should be done by the machines. That is when there is good room for consciousness to rise, that we don't have daily concerns. When this happens, those who are ignorant and arrogant, because ignorance and arrogance are not two different things. Ignorance breeds arrogance, all right. They will go into drinking, drugging, overeating, all this stuff. But there is a whole lot of human intelligence which will wonder, what is this life about? Some will go towards suicide, rest will go towards enlightenment. So culturing the society for a time like that. When I say culturing the society for a time like that, I'm not talking about future. Even now, how much physical activity you were doing 100 years ago for survival, today how much you do has come down to 10% or less physical, isn't it? Because of machines and technology.
Correct.
So how much nonsensical thinking you're doing to understand one thing and to do one thing, if it's done by the machine, is it not a great benediction? So I'm all for any kind of intelligence, because this is how I see. I know some religions go about saying that God is love. I don't know about that. I know human beings can be loving if they're willing.
Yeah.
Dogs are very loving. Whether God is loving or not, I'm not an authority on that, I don't want to say anything. Somebody says God is compassion. Well, your job in Stanford, you got it on your competence or compassion? I'm just asking.
I don't have the authority to answer.
I'm saying, would you like to get it on competence or compassion?
The former.
Yes.
Yeah.
So compassion is meaningful only if you've fallen.
Yeah.
If you're down for some reason, physically, mentally, whichever way, if I reach out, it's very valuable.
Yeah.
Suddenly my hand may look like God's hand to you when you've fallen, isn't it? But when you're standing on your 2 feet, you want acceptance, you don't want compassion, isn't it?
Right.
So people say God is compassion because they are in such desperate states. People say God is love because they don't have any love in their hearts. All these things which are human qualities have been exported to heaven. If you say peace, people say divine peace. If you say bliss, people say divine bliss. No, these are all human capabilities. Miserable people on the planet have exported it, and now to import you have to pay from there. So, if it's just such a well thought out enterprise, I'll appreciate their entrepreneurship, but not good for humanity.
No.
So I'm saying, if all things that can be done by machines are done by machines, anything and everything, what would the human intelligence do? Naturally it would seek salvation. Well, a few suicides may happen, unfortunately. It should not. This is why we need to cultivate the society, orient the society. There is a way for a human being to aspire for something bigger than survival. Something bigger than physiological and psychological process is available. If you don't curate the society like this, then they will go to drink, drug, alcohol, suicide. These things will come because we have not cultured the society. Right now, that's what is happening in affluent societies. The youth are going these things because nobody has cultured them for any higher possibility. The only thing that's been done is selling tickets to heaven. The youth don't want to go to heaven. If you say you want to go to heaven, they will ask you, is there free Wi-Fi or not? They're not interested in the old promises that were made about heaven, all right? They want life here. So that's a very good thing. It may look like short-termism, but it's a very good thing because I feel one of the greatest crimes that we have done in the world is to tell people that there is a better place than this. This is a crime against creation. There is no better place than this. Wherever you are, you may be in a desert, but still I'm telling you, there is no better place than this for you.
Yeah.
You must make this into a wonderful space to live. It's very important.
Yeah.
I've not seen whole of Indonesia, at least Bali. Bali, what we have seen.
Oh, you must come again.
Is cultured.
Yeah,
Is cultured for mukti.
correct.
India largely was like that, but today we are trying to be more American than American. We are trying hard. So, to culture a society, this is the work that we are doing. To
Right.
culture a society, not about preaching religion, not about teaching scriptures or some ideology or belief system. To culture a human being that if you're willing, there are possibilities beyond physical and mental pleasures and comforts.
I want to move on to what you've been busy with recently. You've been riding the motorbike all over the world, and you've gotten a lot of people excited. Safe soil. Tell us.
They got excited because they thought I'm killing myself.
But tell the world what your mission is. At least the Indonesians and Southeast Asians, what you've been up to.
Well, one of your stars was very much a part of Safe Soil movement. What's her name?
Rilin Shah.
Raylene Shah has been participating in Safe Soil. She's been a big support, and she also came all the way to Dubai to ride with me for a short distance. But for a beautiful young woman like that, it was too hot.
Did you comply with the speed limits, or?
Speed limits in Dubai are good, 160 kilometers per hour. It's 100 miles. It's okay. But because in some places I was going with the security, and the security were excited, so they were driving at 240, 245 kilometers per hour, so I I was happy. So, about Save Soil. I've been talking about soil for over 30 years now. I've spoken to regular common people, I've spoken to lots, thousands of farmers, I've spoken to bureaucrats in various ministries, agriculture ministries, environment ministries. various ministers in many countries, some of the heads of state. Everybody says, this is fantastic, this is very important, this has to be done. And that night they will use it as a pillow to sleep upon, all the safe soil talk. So, I've been watching this, we've not just been watching, we've been manifesting it on the ground, that we've been converting farmers from aggressive chemical based farming to very soil-friendly and economically far more lucrative way of doing things. And very casually he said, Sadhguru, 70% of the data is pornography. I said, what? He said, yeah. I didn't believe that. I checked out with a few other people. They said, Sadhguru, something like that, Sadhguru, it's not too far, somewhere there. And then they tell me, some 2.5 million children are being sold on the internet. I said, what is this? When we get a technology that we can reach every human being, what we do is sell our children? What's the matter with us? Hello? You can't think anything below selling your children, isn't it? Hello? A human being cannot go any more, there's no further below bottom than this. So if we give you a great technology, you will sell your children on internet, maybe somebody else's children. I said that day, we got to go shamelessly on internet. People said, no, Sadhguru, it'll not look good, a guru going on the internet. I said, I don't care. We will go all out. Since then we've been out. Please, in whichever way you think I can help or you can help, let's make this happen because in our generation, this is our time on the planet. What we make out of this damn world is ours, whatever we make out of it. Hello? We should make something that if we look back and see, it looks good for us at least. Even if other people don't approve, at least in our minds and our hearts it must look good, isn't it, what we have done? Hello? All of you who are empowered with technology, you must make this happen one way or the other, huh? That when we turn back and look, we are not ashamed of what we have done. This is one thing every human being should do. It doesn't matter what nonsensical judgments other people make about you. You should not be ashamed of what you have done, isn't it? By your own standards, I'm saying. You don't have to go by my standards or somebody else's standards, but you should not be ashamed of what you have done. That much every human being must do, especially if you're empowered in some way. You must do that. Let's make it happen.
Beautiful. Without further ado, then I would love to transition into Q&A from the audience, and we can go from there. So, Emily, if you would like to hand out the mic, if you have a question that you think would serve the group, please raise your hand, and I will pick someone.
Oh. Leave it to them, I'll let them ask, no? Whoever wants.
Go, yeah, Emily, please.
Are we up here? Cool. Hello. So on that note, a lot of us being internet people who spend a lot of time looking at screens, I've noticed that there tends to be this oscillation between feeling really good after doing like a morning practice or breath work, and then you go back on the screen and it's like, whew, you're back into the matrix, and it's this oscillation of being and doing, and you talk so much about being. So how can we bring that being into the doing as well?
Why should you think it's either or? Why is it either or? It's not so. It's happened because you're trying to be. Don't try to be. I'm asking, do you exist right now? 100%. You exist. So you're here. You don't try to be here, you're anyway here. All this has happened because of so many teachings and teachings all over the place. I'll tell you a secret. You know how to write? No, not like this. You know how to write. So you take a old, very ancient-looking parchment and write like that, whatever nonsense you want. And say you found it in your garden and you had it tested and it says it's 3,700 years old. Believe me, you're the Messiah. Because people have this fetish and problem. Anything that's from another time must be fantastic. Who the hell told you people who lived here 2000, 5000 years ago were smarter than you and me? I don't believe that. Hello? Is that so? Do you think so? No. So, these teachings and teachings have come. People have been saying, be in the moment. I think this arises, I don't know exactly where it arises, I think the capital must be Los Angeles. Be in the moment. I'm saying, please be somewhere else and show me. Can you be somewhere else right now? What they're telling you is, do not think about the past, do not think about the future. Or what they're telling you is, please forsake all the evolution that happened to you and once again become an earthworm. I'm not trying to insult the earthworm, it's very eco-friendly, which whole of California is trying to be. The problem is, it took millions of years to give you a brain of this capability. Now somebody is teaching you, do not think about the past, do not think about the future. If you're eating an apple, just eat the apple. God damn it, you can be bloody eating the apple and think about 10 different things at the same time. That is what this is geared for. Hello? So if you incapacitate yourself, you will be peaceful. Yes, of course, if you did, you will be peaceful, I know that. Peace right now is, first of all, a whole lot of people think peace is the ultimate goal of life. Even so-called spiritual teachers are going about saying peace of mind is the ultimate goal of life. Such people will only rest in peace. This happened to me. I was to speak in Tel Aviv. So I flew out of Atlanta. And because of some flight delays and stuff, I was to land in mid-morning and speak at 6:30 in the evening, but I landed at 6 o'clock in the evening. So I quickly changed in the airport and I'm rushing. Because in these 38 years I have not been late to a single event. Somehow I will make it. So I quickly changed and left, but I'm famished. You know, I'm flying an American airline, there's nothing edible on the damn plane. So I have not eaten anything for nearly 20 hours plus. So I'm very hungry, but what to do? My time is running out, so I ran to the place. And this doesn't happen to me too often. And the venue is a fine restaurant. Very nice people, they arranged a meeting in the restaurant. I thought, this cannot be any better. When you're so hungry, that's exactly where you want to go. Then people were already coming in and people were wishing me, and one person came and said, "Shalom." I asked him, what does it mean? He said, "This is the highest way of greeting." I said, "Well, that's your opinion, but what does it mean?" He said, No, this is the highest way of greeting." I said, "All right, what does the word mean?" He said, "It means peace." I said, "See, why would peace be the highest way of greeting unless you're born in Middle East? In South India, if somebody comes up to me in the morning and says, 'Peace,' I'll say, 'What's wrong with you, huh?' I'm saying whatever you deny yourself, it will slowly rise to heaven. Now people have become so barren, if you say love, they say divine love. If you say peace, they say divine peace. If you say bliss, they say divine bliss. These are all human things exported to heaven by miserable people. Hello? Are you capable of peace? Are you capable of love? Are you capable of joy? Hello? You're capable. Your problem is sustainability. You're not able to stay there, isn't it? You know many moments of peacefulness, joyfulness, ecstasy, everything you know, but you're not able to stay there. Then you must ask me that question, Sadhguru, I'm capable of peace, joy, love, but it's seasonal. Like the flowers, like the trees, I've also become seasonal, what to do? Then there is a solution for this, there is a process for that. But if you hang on to these kind of things, absurd things, when I say absurd, are you right now in this moment? Hello? Hello? No, I was thinking of New York City. So what? You're thinking of New York City in this moment only? Can you think in another moment, I'm asking? Your problem is you do not know the distinction between what is psychological drama and what is existentially true. That's all the problem is, isn't it? If drama picks up momentum, drama picks up momentum, you don't know what is real, what is psychological, what is social. You have a body, you have a mind, and there's a world around you. For convenience, I will call this BMW. Body, mind and the world. All these three things must run the way you want them. World, will it run 100% the way you want them? The world? No. So we try to make it as much as possible the way we want it. It'll never work 100%, but we keep trying and making it as much as possible. As you become more and more competent, you keep on taking the salami slices of the world and make it your way, as your influence grows. 2 hours of focused time upon it, your life.
Yes.
If you think so, you should do that. This is what the process that I've called it as inner engineering. 32 hours of focused time. Book is just a large brochure, you know because there is a practice involved. When I say a practice, a simple practice which only 21 minutes of practice. To teach this 21-minute practice, we take 32 hours of orientation, because without that it won't happen. You need to understand how the mechanism of your own thoughts, why are they hitting… See, if your hand is punching you in the face, why is it doing that? You need to understand. Otherwise, just holding it down is not the answer. This is the most sophisticated machine on the planet. Have you read the user's manual?
The user's manual for my body?
For yourself as a life.
No, I didn't know there was one.
So when do you want to do it? Towards the end of the life is when people think they should do it. It's like you got yourself your iPad. Should you read the user's manual in the first 3 days or after 3 years when you're getting rid of the machine?
When I first get it.
Yes.
But nobody gives me the user's manual for myself.
No, the thing is it's inbuilt, you have to just pay attention.
How do I do that?
So we'll do one thing right now. Shall we do a simple experiment with you?
Yes.
You'll have to do this with your eyes closed.
Okay.
But right now, look at me.
Okay.
Afterwards you can do. You place your palms like this, facing down upon your thigh, gently placed. So you will start breathing slightly deeper, 10–15% deeper than normal. Don't do it yet. Hello.
Okay.
And as you're doing it, I will say switch. Then you turn your hands around gently upon your thigh, like this. And again when I say switch, get back this way.
Okay.
In these two conditions, something about your breath will change. I will also give you a clue what could be changing. Where the air is filling up in your lungs, how it fills up, something about it will change. Or let me put it this way, the maximum expansion and contraction, in which part of the chest is it happening? This way, which way? This way, which way? Just notice that. Just hold your palms facing down, close your eyes.
Okay, and when you say switch, turn my hands over, right?
Yes. Breathe slightly deeper, not very forcefully, just 10–15% more. Notice where the maximum expansion and contraction is happening. Switch. Switch again. Please open your eyes. There's some difference?
Yeah.
What is it?
In what part I feel… how I feel?
No.
Or my breathing?
Where is the maximum expansion and contraction when you're holding two different postures?
I felt like my chest and my belly were expanding more when I was switching. I felt like I was just getting more air into my body.
Let me tell you what's happening. You can experiment by yourself and see. When you have your hands facing together, facing down with all fingers together, Maximum expansion contraction is happening in the lower lobe of
Yeah.
the lung.
Yeah, yeah.
If you turn it around, it shifts to the middle lobe of the lung. A middle lobe being much larger, you feel more, but actually it's the shift. So I'm saying, just by turning your hands around like this, the very way you breathe is altering itself. It's not just the breath. The very way your life energies function is altering itself. How many times in a day unconsciously are you… Now you're setting your energies into turmoil and hoping to be peaceful. It will not work, and I'm happy it doesn't work, because if it works for you by doing wild things and still everything is peaceful and wonderful within you, then what is the use of my life? Spending a whole lifetime paying attention to every little thing that's happening here. I'm saying, if you can drive blind on the London streets and not hit anything, a good driver will feel insulted, isn't it? That's all I'm saying.
But how do we learn the user manual for ourselves, though? So, is it… It's not something we go and read in a book. You
See,
said
the problem is this, all your sense organs are outward bound. Because they are survival instruments. Your sense organs, your ability to see, hear, smell, taste and touch are essentially your survival instruments. Life cannot be enhanced by them, you can only survive better. If you see better than me, you can survive better than me. If you hear better than me, you can survive better than me. But this life will not feel enhanced by perceiving more through the five sense organs. And they're all outward bound. You can see me. Can you roll your eyeballs inward and scan yourself? No. You can hear that. So much happening in the body, can you hear that? No. So, all your sense organs are only to perceive what's happening around you, not to perceive what's within you. So, to perceive within you, you need to turn inward. That needs a little… because it's not survival. Something has to be done. You know how to write English language?
Yeah.
Yes. To learn that damn 26 alphabets, it took some effort, isn't it? Hello?
Yeah, it did.
It
Yeah.
took some effort and it took some guidance, because anything that's beyond survival needs striving. That striving is missing in the society. There was a time where in the civilization that we refer to as Hindustan or Bharat, or today being the political country is being called as India, in this culture, 70% of the people were invested in inward well-being. Because of that, they became super enhanced. Because of that enhancement, they became so wealthy in everything, rich in mathematics, rich in astronomy, rich in business, rich in trade, rich in industry. It was the richest nation on the planet just 300 years ago. See, everybody from here, whether it's English or French or Portuguese, everybody went to India. You think in search of poverty? In search of wealth, isn't it? It became like that effortlessly, without conquering anybody, without having large armies, because people invested in enhancing themselves. I'm telling you, if you try to enhance your activity without enhancing yourself, you'll only die of stress. This is what is happening to, unfortunately, whole lot of CEOs. I'm concerned about this because a CEO means you gave something that is important, that needs to happen in the world, into his hands, his or her hands. And if they are stressed out, what misery will they create for the rest of the world? It's very important.
That journey to taking care of ourselves, like I had to learn how to read a book or to learn language.
No, I'm saying anything that's not survival
Yeah.
will not come naturally, you have to strive. This society has to create that longing. Being peaceful and joyful is more important for a human being's experience of life than me being better than you. That orientation the society has to create, isn't it?
I agree. I agree. It just seems like there's such a powerful narrative coming from social media, magazines, TV, movies that are
Yes, I'm not denying that.
making us individualistic and…
It's not even individualistic, it's always about me being better than you. It started from the kindergarten school. There itself they told you, I am first rank, you are third rank. From there it started, I am better than you. So, the whole life is about being better than somebody means, essentially what it means is, I enjoy your failures. Does it sound like joy to you or sickness to you?
Sounds like a sickness.
It is a sickness. We're building into our children right from day one.
What about trauma? I was thinking about early trauma and how that drives us away from a life of contentment and drives us towards, a life where we might end up in prison or we might be dysfunctional in other ways because of something early that happened when we were 7 years old. It could be a small thing or a big trauma that has orientated us to be greedy or to be selfish or to be, in the worst case, maybe to hurt others.
See, essentially you're finding an excuse for the way you are, which you yourself don't like. See, if something unpleasant happened to you, you have two choices. Either you can become wise or you can become wounded. Choose. More unpleasant things happen to you than anybody else. You must be the wisest man soonest. No, you choose to be wounded because you carry this wound like a badge and so that you can cause the same wound to others. What's the point? When you know the pain of it, how do you do the same thing to me?
But it becomes a survival
No,
technique to
see,
some
there
people.
is no excuse. The thing is just this, instead of intelligently, consciously responding to life, you are reacting like any other creature, that's all.
So something bad happens to me when I'm 7 years old and these neurons fire in my brain that make me react badly.
This is all what…
How much of one's life is a result of their past karma? Are the injustices and unfairnesses that one faces in one's life a result of their past karma? If so, do you accept these injustices and find solace in the fact that, okay, the karma is being cleared, even though it might seem detrimental to our lives in so many ways?
Samantha, you're old enough for this. I'm not saying you're old, I said you're old enough. Do you still expect the world to be fair to you?
That's why I'm asking this question. Can I blame it on my past karma is what I'm asking.
I want the world to be fair to me is a schoolgirl question. By now you should know the world is not fair. It will not be fair to you. But if you dig deep into yourself and have a taste of life, not a taste of your thought and emotion, the taste of life that you are, then you will see life is not just fair, it's just fantastic. So, do you want fair life or fantastic life? You must decide.
I've noticed this, that beyond the material ego, there is now suddenly a widespread…
Who's this ego guy, your friend?
is all around me. And in my industry, the heights of it. So beyond the material ego, I've noticed there's now widespread spiritual ego. I've come across a lot of people who are now on a spiritual path, not you, Sadhguru, who consider themselves superior to people who are not on a spiritual path. How would you advise such people to ensure that they don't fall a prey to this new spiritual ego?
First we'll address this ego guy, okay? If you show me where it is, I'll fix it right now.
I wish I knew where it was, it just keeps coming suddenly.
So, you don't know where it is. The thing is just this, say at certain moments, as a person, as a woman, you are a beautiful person, wonderful person, I mean. I'm sorry, I didn't say only at certain times you're beautiful, you're always beautiful, but certain times you're wonderful, all right? Certain moments maybe you're nasty, possible. So whenever you're nasty, you say, it's my ego. Why don't you say, it's me, I'm sometimes wonderful, sometimes nasty. If you see this, naturally nastiness will go down. But if you say, whenever you're nasty, Mr. Ego does this, and you don't know where he is, you don't know his address or ID, nor do you know his phone number, so how do you fix this guy? So everybody has this going in their life, because this is spiritual jargon without being spiritual is all over the place, particularly in India, because we have, 15, 20,000 years of spiritual history, so we know all the words. We know what Atma, Paramatma, this one, that one, Ahankara, everything we know, words only. So we can just throw words like this and confuse the Western population quite a bit. Because if you come here, they'll say Mukti, Shakti, this one, that one, all kinds of things. I know a lot of people who've gone and set up spiritual centers in the West, particularly in America, because they just know one chant, just one chant. Okay, Asatoma Sadgamaya, with this they run the whole thing. So unfortunately, spirituality, in some ways it's come there. It's come there because there is need in the society, there is not enough source. Because of that, people are manufacturing this here and there. This happened, a few years ago, 16 years ago, and I was in United States, and then somebody in the office, our office, told me, Sadhguru, did you know every day 100,000 people are typing out the word spiritual? I said, is that so? Type it out and see what comes out. Are we even there in the picture? They typed out spirituality. First thing that comes up is a spa in Mexico. You've been there. And the next thing that comes out is a call girl in Northern California. She has learnt all that SEO. For everything she says spiritual, 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 108 times she uses the word spiritual on her website. You say spiritual, she comes up, number 2. I thought this is a shame. For thousands of years, anything spiritual means people looked east. East means India, that's what it meant. So I said we must start something, a spiritual gateway, that if people say if they seek spirituality, they must look towards India. Because this is one culture which has spent maximum amount of time exploring human consciousness and the mechanics of what a human being is, how this functions on the surface and its very core. How does this function? What can we do about it? This has been explored. I'm not saying this out of my Indian origin, I'm saying this after looking at the world closely, that nowhere else has it been looked at like this. So, I said, we must start a spiritual gateway, India, the spiritual gateway. I must tell you this, till about 15 years ago, I had not met a single guru in this country. I just did not meet, I was just busy doing my own work. I never thought I had to go and look for somebody, I had never been to any other ashram anywhere. And then I thought, okay, let me make an attempt, then I started making phone calls. They all received my call pretty well, and then I started visiting some people and started putting together. We had one meeting with 125 gurus. We made this thing that nobody talks about their philosophy. You keep your philosophy, this is just a meeting. This is just about how to enhance your ashram or your yoga center, whatever you have, how to enhance the quality We will teach you management, we will teach you branding, we will teach you how to make a website, we will teach you how to present yourself to international community. Your philosophy, we don't touch, you don't touch mine, I don't touch yours. You do your own thing. Because that is the beauty of this culture, that it can exist in hundreds of forms, thousands of forms, and it's okay with us. So when I went about doing this, well, I met many wonderful people, but at the same time, at least 60 to 65%, it hurts me to say this, I found that if I walk into an airport or a golf course, I meet better men than in the so-called spiritual centers. Because it's full of jargon, no heart, no depth, no profoundness, simply one chant, one nonsense, one philosophy that they read somewhere. It's going on like this. This needs to change. So to bring this profoundness to people, as people get closer to me, I get harder and harder and harder. Those who are very close to me, I am bloody cruel. Yes, because just to bring integrity into spirituality is so hard. Because the moment they get spirituality, little, like you said, you're calling it spiritual ego, I call it spiritual airs. They get spiritual airs, air bubbles get in their head. Suddenly they start acting funny, they start saying things that don't exist, they start talking about nonsense that nobody understands. If you speak something, whatever nonsense you speak, people in front of you must understand, otherwise why the hell are you speaking? Because the purpose of speech is to make somebody understand what you're saying. No, if I say something that you don't understand, I become big, you become small. This is rubbish. This is going on for too long. So, this whole spirituality as a thing, unfortunately, has fallen on bad times, but slowly it is rising because people's longing is increasing. I must tell you this, 40 years ago when I first started the programs, in our engineering programs, in various different forms, 85% of the people used to come to the programs only for health problems. Only 12–15% came to know some. The rich and the privileged people want somebody to open their doors and close their doors.
Yes.
It's an imprisonment.
Yeah.
Still they suffer after some time. See, if I put you in a gold-plated prison for some time, if you're a greedy idiot, you will enjoy it.
Right.
Hello? Yes or no?
Yes.
That's all that's happening to people. They're imprisoning themselves and they're enjoying the prison for some time only. Afterwards, you'll see something else will happen. You ask people the first day they got their job, they went and sat there. That table, first day job, you know that table felt so fantastic. Sitting here behind this, the other guy didn't have the table, you had the table and the chair. You felt so great. But after 10 years you see them, behind the same table, they're getting blood pressure, they get dying of stress, everything happening. I need something warm. Don't let that happen to you in your marriage. Your marriage should stay like it's first day every day, the rest of your life. Hello?
I was thinking that it could apply perfectly well to how relationships function. The first day is beautiful.
No, you keep it that way. If you don't live by memory, if you live consciously, every day, every moment is a new day and a new moment, isn't it?
Yes.
If you live by memory, then everything is old.
Yes. Take notes.
Not for her, for you, man.
Okay. Today I'm in the hot seat.
We can go on.
Yeah, right. My channels, incidentally, it started off as explorations into philosophy. I was a student of psychology and economics in America, and
What do you think, I'm a normal?
like a little bit. No, but it would be really uneventful if you were normal. You know, all this buzz, all this hype, and then if I met you and you were completely as normal as him, or
it would be uneventful.
What do you mean, you're saying I'm not normal?
I think you're special.
No.
No?
So let me put it like this.
Yes.
At one time, we used to print brochures like this for the program. Whatever this program, from ordinary to extraordinary. So after 2 days, 3 days, people are saying, Sadhguru, you said we will be special, but you didn't teach us anything very special. What is it? I said, you idiots, I never said you'll be special. I said, you will be extraordinary. That means more ordinary than other people. The moment you try to be special, you make an ass out of yourself.
Right.
You be ordinary, more ordinary than others. Why are you not ordinary? Ordinary is life, isn't it?
Agreed.
Special is death.
Yeah, fair. But where I was leading to with that…
You should stop saying fair.
What should I say?
But you say I'm crazy, is it fair?
Are you talking about you or me?
I don't hold any distinction between the two, that's the problem.
Enough philosophy already.
No, it's not philosophy. This is what yoga means. Yoga means union.
Right.
You didn't see anybody outside of yourself. You saw everything within you.
It's like being described the gulab jamun if I've never seen it. You know what I mean? Like for me, when you say that, I have very little ways to understand that.
No.
No?
You have. What did you eat today morning?
I had dosa.
Dosa. Does dosa look like you?
No.
Smell like you?
No.
No. But you ate it and has it become you already?
Yes. In
So
a way that
you
is.
have a yogic experience, but the problem is, most of your life is unconscious, you don't know it's happening. If you actually watch the dosa becoming a part of you, life's experience would be very different, isn't it? This is yoga.
How do I get to the place where I can feel the dosa becoming part of me? Like what is the…
No, you
what is
don't
the
have to eat more and more dosas, no.
And then every time
Then
I
you
eat
may
it,
become the shape of the dosa.
Is there a method that bridges…
Yes?
Yes.
That's what I told you. Dhyana, or what we teach as Shambhavi, Samudra, or it's a Kriya. You know how to do external activity with physical body and mind. So the thing is to teach you to do some internal activity, which doesn't involve the physical body or the mental structure. Now once you start doing inner activity without using your body or your normally what you call as your psychological process, now you build a capability to see that the boundaries open up a little bit. You consciously obliterate the boundaries of your individuality. This is what you're trying to do by falling in love or getting married. You're trying to obliterate the boundaries of your individuality, isn't it?
Yes. I follow that logic, yes.
So, if you obliterate the boundaries of individuality, something more is there suddenly. So if you do it emotionally, you call it love, but if you do it at the life energy level, then it's a fantastic, huge experience which you got scared of. Because Vipassana is a wonderful process. It's a little laborious, but it's a wonderful process.
And is it fair to say that all… whether that be Vipassana or whether that be any other method, I have recently started doing a shaking meditation. You begin with shaking and then dancing and then you sit down and you lie down.
How long can you shake?
It's very difficult past 5 minutes to shake.
That's what.
Yeah.
So 5 minutes a day something, see, this can be done in so many ways. Somebody dances, somebody sings, somebody swims, somebody goes up the mountain.
Right.
Whatever physical activity or anything that you do outside to create an inner experience will enslave you to that activity. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, yes.
I ate dosa, that was the most wonderful divine experience in my life. Now I have to keep on eating dosa.
I'm addicted to dosas.
I can see that. Anyway, the thing is, if you use any external activity to create an inner experience, you will get addicted to that process. Doesn't matter what it is. So the whole idea of yogic practices is to bring yourself to a place where you don't have to do anything in particular. If you simply sit here, you're like that. Only then you're free. Otherwise, you're moving from one trap to another. Let's say you moved from alcohol to meditation. Well, it may have some health benefits and other kinds of benefits, but you have moved from one trap to another. Unless this method is constantly releasing you from one little boundary to the next boundary and the next boundary. If it's only one boundary and you stay right there for the rest of your life, it's just the same thing in a different form. Maybe not health-wise, it's not damaging to you, that's a different matter. But I'm saying, in terms of life's growth, it is the same thing. So it's very important that it's progressive.
Right.
It's moving.
Right.
So how long… See, there are people who are saying if you laugh, everything will be okay. If you keep on laughing, believe me, you will go crazy one day. If laughter happens because inside you're exuberant and it just bursts out, fantastic. But I always laugh, ha 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 ha. It'll drive you nuts one day because you're trying to do the consequence instead of the root. It's like this, if I want this tree to grow, I must nourish the root.
Right.
When I was living in a farm at one time, very early on in my life, I was living on farms. So, somebody comes and tells me that they have invented some kind of a spray. That is for the mangoes, because I had a mango garden. I said, if you spray on the mango becomes big and like that. We know always, from my life's experience as a farmer, as a life, if you nourish the root, the fruit will come out well. Now these guys are saying, spray this fruit, that itself will become big. I said, why don't you spray it on your brains and show me? Spray it on your brains, let's see if it becomes big or sparkles better, something like that.
If it's yellower after that. Is prayer and meditation the same thing, or are they different, and if they are, how?
I wouldn't like to comment on prayer because I've never prayed in my life, ever. Because prayer means it's an appeal, even in the legal process.
Put myself in a position to get rid of all the frequencies that I was having in my Western world and my busy life. I wanted to go someplace where nobody knew my name, where I didn't speak the language, where time was gonna run way too slow for me until I got on time, and then all of a sudden realized that, oh, I feel the rhythms of this place, I'm enjoying my own company, because those trips for me, the first 12 days, I do not enjoy my own company. Oh, a breakthrough, where I'm like, okay, I've shaken off my demons, I've pulled off my talismans, I'm a naked child, and that's when all of a sudden, boom, an answer comes, and I'm light, and I've shed certain guilt, and I'm present much, and I'm not looking around the bend to see what's coming on. So my blessing is, may your dreams not come true. May things that you could never dream of happen to you. If you have to be an open possibility like this, it's very important that we understand, that is why karma is important. They're just saying, if I was an earthworm, I would be more peaceful. Yes, earthworm is a fantastic creature, it is very eco-friendly, all that is fine, but the possibility is limited. The significance of being human is, the possibilities are unlimited, possibilities are immense. This is why we are on top of the evolutionary pile. There's millions of more summits on the other side. You keep climbing, and there's another one. There's not a ta-da moment where we go, ah, I've got it, all figured out. I think we get caught up so often in short-term gains, in short-term return, choices that give us short-term return on our own investment, us. And we're not making choices that are gonna buy us delayed gratification, not only longer in this life, but after we're gone, for our kids and our grandkids and our great-great-grandkids. So it's all a process. Is what I'm hearing from that, and how I'm choosing to take that line. It's all a process. Enjoy the process.
That's three. Shut up is one.
Shut up is one.
Look and listen. 3.
I love it.
If you do this, everything that I'm speaking will be naturally yours.
Yeah.
This all I did. I just shut up, looked at everything absolutely, investing my whole life energy in my look and investing my whole life energy in listening, and that's all I know.
Yeah.
And whatever I know, you will know if you just learn to look and listen, but first you must shut up.
I love
Shut
it.
up means not just outside, inside you must shut up.
And
Is that a good teaching?
It's great. I love it. It's perfect. It's perfect. Final question now. Now this is my final question. What's your definition of greatness?
What is my definition of greatness? If it can be defined, it's not great enough for me. As I said, definition means it has clear boundaries. Well, if you can be here without any sense of boundary, that's greatness.
There you go. Thank you so much, Sadhguru. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure talking.
Pleasure.
I hope you enjoyed this interview with Sadhguru. Every time I get to hang out with him, I'm always inspired by his wisdom and his knowledge and how we can apply this wisdom in our life. And I actually interviewed him before recently, and I want to share with you this interview as well. And I would love for you to leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts on the biggest takeaway from this first part of the interview and this second interview also. So leave a comment below on which part you enjoyed the most and the biggest value you got. Here we go.
Adults, as you know, get caught up in a lot of things that aren't their true nature. And why is that? Why is that, do you think, that we forget how to play and think like a child when we grow up?
See, people have forgotten that in this vast cosmos where we don't know where is the beginning, where is the end, in the middle of nowhere, on a tiny little mud ball called Earth, you and me are sitting long distance and talking right now, okay? So, and for the kind of creatures we are not even a speck of dust in this universe. But we have an individual experience. This is the magnanimity of creation, that it's given as an individual experience. Though we are nothing, tomorrow if the whole humanity evaporates, nobody will miss us in this cosmos, that's how small we are. But we have an individual experience. So this individual experience, human beings have taken it rather too seriously, as if they are the beginning and end of the world.
The center of the world, yeah.
Yes, they thought they're the center of the universe. So this misunderstanding makes them believe as they grow up, or as they degenerate, I would say, they don't really grow up. Because at the age of 5, if you're so joyful and energetic, by the time you're 30, you should be ecstatic and bursting. But if the reverse has happened, this is degeneration of life. So this degeneration happens because people take their individual existence rather too seriously. They don't understand, before you and me came here, countless number of people who thought they were smart and they were strong and they were beautiful and they were wonderful, they're all topsoil now. Countless number of people. And you and me also will be one day, unless our friends choose to bury us really deep, fearing that we may rise from the dead or something. So, we have taken our individual existence too seriously. Because of this, life has taken a back seat. Our physical structure has taken front seat, our psychological structures have, gone to the stratosphere, but the life that we are is somewhere, which is not even in most people's experience. So this is the whole problem. When you were a child, you were just a piece of life. Slowly, you took your personality so seriously, you took your boundaries of your form so seriously that you think this is it. So till death knocks on their door, they don't realize that this is not it.
And I've learned that in some cultures, they focus on death multiple times a day to bring them back to that moment of, this is the only time we have, make the most of this moment, don't take things too seriously. Do you focus on death a lot throughout your days, or is that not something you think about?
I live death all the time.
You're on a motorcycle.
Not just that, motorcycle I live.
Yeah.
Just now, if you do not know this, I just released a book on death.
Really?
Do you know this? Yeah, it's a bestseller in India right now.
Wow.
So
is it here in the USA yet? I gotta get a copy.
We will send you a copy, but it's not released in USA. It's only released by Penguin India, because USA we're releasing another book, so this has been stalled. In US we're releasing a book on karma.
Perfect. I need both.
So the book is about, it is only for those who shall die, that's how it is titled, Death, a book for only those who shall die. Because most people think other people die. They don't realize we die.
Right.
They do not… See, death essentially means, it reminds us that we have a limited amount of time and energy to live. Nobody has unlimited time or unlimited energy. If one is constantly conscious of this, definitely they will organize their life and they'll prioritize their life in much better way than the way they're doing it right now. This is a fundamental… Death does not mean something else, not some terrible thing. Death simply means, it is clearly reminding you, you have a limited lease of time and energy. That means you need to organize your time and energy to what is most valuable for you, not do one more thing that is not necessary for yourself or anybody around you. And because people think they are forever, they are in some restlessness all the time. I think they just put up a poem which I wrote 3-4 days ago, it's called Life. The most restless ones rest so well when life is taken out of them, as if the only curse was life.
What does that mean to rest so well? You mean sleep so well or live so well that you don't rest so well?
Oh, even in sleep they're rolling all over the place, huh?
They're not sleeping well.
No, no. They need to either drink or pop a pill to sleep, most of them.
So how do we get to a restful place? Is it more about our thoughts? Is it more about our heart, our soul, our karma, our physical body? What's the place to start for rest?
See, right now generally people's understanding is rest means sleep. Wakefulness means something is happening. No, you have to make your wakefulness also restful. It is just like if you have an automobile who's running at a very high RPM all the time, it'll naturally wear itself out. So it's important that you run cool. So if you are running at an easy pace, your efficiency will go up, your ability to do things will go up, your competence will go up in everything. Above all, the number of hours that you sleep will go down dramatically. See, for most people who are practicing inner engineering practices, their pulse rate is somewhere between 45 to 65.
Really?
Many of them… Yes, many of them below 45, between 35 to 45, also in sitting states, in restful states. So once your system is going at such an ease, then the need for rest will come down. There was a time, not anymore, I'm becoming little old and lazy these days. So there was a time, 3 days and 3 nights if I don't sleep, I will still be perfectly normal. Still doing all my activity. Whole night I will drive, next day whole day I will teach, whole night I will drive and again I will teach, like this. These days I can do one night, next day I will need to rest a little bit.
Right. You take naps throughout the day now, yeah.
No, no naps.
I'm joking.
For almost 25 years, more than 25 years, my average sleep time was only 2.5 hours.
Wow.
Today I'm sleeping between 3.5 to 4.5 hours.
You're getting lazy.
You're getting lazy.
Wow, yeah, I think I did a 5-mile run yesterday and my average heart rate was over 165. So I wonder if I can do it. Now I'm pushing it pretty hard on my run. So I wonder, is there a way to work out hard and keep the heart rate lower than normal still, even while you're pushing and pumping so much blood?
The important thing is, see how easily oxygen and nutrients are distributed to the cellular level. That will determine. See, this has not been… generally they're not thinking on these lines, they're always thinking about increasing the lung capacity. Yes, that is also important, but the important thing is with how much ease the nutrients and oxygen get to the cellular level, accordingly your pulmonary system will function. But it's not only about the heart rate, even at the cellular level, with how much stress or how much ease it's going, this can be determined. Once we're empowered like this, it's very important that our physical action, emotional action, mental action and energy actions are controlled and properly directed. If it is not so, we become destructive, self-destructive. Right now, that is our problem. The technology, which is supposed to make our life beautiful and easy, has become the source of all the problem, that we are destroying the very basis of our life, which is the planet. So what should have been a boon, we are making a curse out of it. What has brought incredible levels of comfort and convenience to us in the last 100 years or so has also become a threat to our life simply because we are not conscious action, we are in a compulsive state of action. So organizing our minds fundamentally means moving from a compulsive state of activity to a conscious state of activity. You might have heard of people for whom they asked for something and beyond all expectations it came true for them. Generally this happens to people who are in faith. Now, let's say you want to build a house. If you start thinking, oh, I want to build a house. To build a house I need 50 lakhs, but I have only 50 rupees in my pocket. Not possible, not possible, not possible. The moment you say not possible, you're also saying I don't want it. So on one level, you're creating a desire that you want something, on another level, you're saying I don't want it. So in this conflict, it may not happen. Someone who has some faith in a god or in a temple or whatever, who is simple-minded, faith works only for those people who are simple-minded. Thinking people, people who are too much thinking, for them it never works. A childlike person who has a simple faith in his god or his temple or whatever, he goes to the temple and says, Shiva, I want a house. I don't know how, you must make it for me. Now in his mind there are no negative thoughts. Will it happen? Will it not happen? Is it possible? Is it not possible? These things are completely removed by this simple act of faith. Now he believes Shiva will do it for him and it will happen. So is Shiva going to come and build your house? No, I want you to understand, God will not lift his little finger for you. What you refer to as God is the source of creation. As a creator, he has done a phenomenal job, there's no question about it. Could you think of a better creation than this? Is it in anybody's imagination to think anything better than what is there right now? So as a creator, he has done his job wonderfully well. But if you want life to happen the way you want it, because right now, the very crux of your happiness and your well-being is this, if at all if you're unhappy, the only and only reason why you're unhappy is life is not happening the way you think it should happen. That's all it is. So if life is not happening the way you think it should happen, you're unhappy. If life happens the way you think it should happen, you are happy. It's as simple as that. So if life has to happen the way you think it should happen, first of all, how you think, with how much focus you think, how much stability is there in your thought, and how much reverberance is there in the thought process will determine whether your thought will become a reality or is it just an empty thought. Or how you do not create any impediments for your thought by creating negative thought process. This possible is something possible or not possible, is destroying humanity. What is possible and not possible is not your business, it's nature's business. Your business is just to strive for what you want. Right now you're sitting here, if I ask you two simple questions, I want you to just look at this and answer this. Right now from where you're sitting, can you just fly off? You say no. Right now from where you're sitting, can you get up and walk? You'll say yes. What is the basis of this? Why you say no to flying and yes to walking? Because past experience of life, many times you've gotten up and walked, never did you fly off. Or in other words, You're using the past experience of life as a basis for deciding whether something is possible or not possible. Or in other words, you have decided that what has not happened till now cannot happen in your life in future. This is a disgrace to humanity and the human spirit. What has not happened till now on this planet can happen tomorrow. Human beings are capable of making it happen tomorrow. So what is possible and what is not possible is not your business. That is nature's business. Nature will decide that. You just see what is it that you really want and strive for that. And if your thought is created in a powerful way, without any negativity, without any negative thoughts bringing down the intensity of the thought process, the first and foremost thing is you must be clear what is it that you really want. If you do not know what you want, the question of creating it doesn't arise. If you look at what you really want, what every human being wants is, he wants to live joyfully, he wants to live peacefully. In terms of its relationships, he wants it to be loving and affectionate. Or in other words, all that any human being is seeking for is pleasantness within himself, pleasantness around him. This pleasantness, if it happens in our body, we call this health and pleasure. If it happens in our mind, we call this peace and joy. If it happens in our emotion, we call this love and compassion. If it happens in our energy, we call this blissfulness and ecstasy. This is all that a human being is looking for. Whether he is going to his office to work, he wants to make money, build a career, build a family, he sits in the bar, sits in the temple, he is still looking for the same thing. Pleasantness within, pleasantness around. If this is what we want to create, I think it's time we addressed it directly and commit ourselves to creating it. So you want to create yourself. In United States of America, there is a segment of people who believe that next time when Jesus comes, he will come in United States. Generally, it's believed he will come in Mount Olive in Jerusalem, but now US people are saying, why will he go to Israel? That's not a good place to go. He will come in United States. So they asked me a question like this in a large gathering, Sadhguru, what do you think? Jesus will come in United States or in Jerusalem? I said, see, last time he came in Jerusalem and he said, come follow me. Only 12 people. Today you're celebrating him as a great being, but only 12 people followed him. In that, one of them freaked on him, all right? But if he comes to United States today, if he says, come follow me, you have a bank loan, student loan, car loan, house loan, holiday home loan, you are mortgaged for 45 years. If Jesus says, come follow me, nobody will be there because everybody has to go to the bank. So you have entangled yourself in such a way, even if the most significant things happen, you can't change the direction of your life. Hello? If the greatest things came your way, you cannot change the direction of your life. This is a slave's life, isn't it? What is slavery? He cannot choose. That is slavery, isn't it? Now, you are making that kind of arrangements in your life, you cannot choose, you're stuck in your own arrangements. A spider weaves a web for… What you refer to as God is the source of creation. As a creator, he has done a phenomenal job, there's no question about it. Could you think of a better creation than this? Is it in anybody's imagination to think anything better than what is there right now? So as a creator, he has done his job wonderfully well, but if you want life to happen the way you want it, because right now, the very crux of your happiness and your well-being is this, if at all if you're unhappy, the only and only reason why you're unhappy is life is not happening the way you think it should happen. That's all it is. So if life is not happening the way you think it should happen, you're unhappy. If life happens the way you think it should happen, you are happy. It's as simple as that. So if life has to happen the way you think it should happen, first of all, how you think with how much focus you think, how much stability is there in your thought, and how much reverberance is there in the thought process will determine whether your thought will become a reality or is it just an empty thought. Or how you do not create any impediments for your thought by creating negative thought process. This possible is something possible or not possible is destroying humanity. What is possible and not possible is not your business, it's nature's business. Your business is just to strive for what you want. Right now you're sitting here, if I ask you two simple questions, I want you to just look at this and answer this. Right now from where you're sitting, can you just fly off? You say no. Right now from where you're sitting, can you get up and walk? You'll say yes. What is the basis of this? Why you say no to flying and yes to walking? Because past experience of life, many times you've gotten up and walked, never did you fly off. Or in other words, you're using the past experience of life as a basis for deciding whether something is possible or not possible. Or in other words, you have decided that what has not happened till now cannot happen in your life in future. This is a disgrace to humanity and the human spirit. What has not happened till now on this planet can happen tomorrow. Human beings are capable of making it happen tomorrow. So what is possible and what is not possible is not your business. That is nature's business. Nature will decide that. You just see what is it that you really want and strive for that. And if your thought is created in a powerful way, without any negativity, without any negative thoughts bringing down the intensity of the thought process, the first and foremost thing is you must be clear what is it that you really want. If you do not know what you want, the question of creating it doesn't arise. If you look at what you really want, what every human being wants is, he wants to live joyfully, he wants to live peacefully. In terms of his relationships, he wants it to be loving and affectionate. Or in other words, all that any human being is seeking for is pleasantness within himself, pleasantness around him. This pleasantness, if it happens in our body, we call this health and pleasure. If it happens in our mind, we call this peace and joy. If it happens in our emotion, we call this love and compassion. If it happens in our energy, we call this blissfulness and ecstasy. This is all that a human being is looking for. Whether he is going to his office to work, he wants to make money, build a career, build a family, he sits in the bar, sits in the temple, he is still looking for the same thing. Pleasantness within, pleasantness around. If this is what we want to create, I think it's time we addressed it directly and commit ourselves to creating it. So you want to create yourself. In United States of America, there is a segment of people who believe that next time when Jesus comes, he will come in United States. Generally, it's believed he will come in Mount Olive in Jerusalem, but now US people are saying, why will he go to Israel? That's not a good place to go. He will come in United States. So they asked me a question like this in a large gathering, Sadhguru, what do you think? Jesus will come in United States or in Jerusalem? I said, see, last time he came in Jerusalem and he said, come follow me. Only 12 people. Today you're celebrating him as a great being, but only 12 people followed him. In that, one of them freaked on him. All right? But if he comes to United States today, if he says, come follow me, you have a bank loan, student loan, car loan, house loan, holiday home loan, you are mortgaged for 45 years. If Jesus says, come follow me, nobody will be there because everybody has to go to the bank. So you have entangled yourself in such a way, even if the most significant things happen, you can't change the direction of your life. Hello? If the greatest things came your way, you cannot change the direction of your life. This is a slave's life, isn't it? What is slavery? He cannot choose. That is slavery, isn't it? Now, you are making that kind of arrangements in your life, you cannot choose, you're stuck in your own arrangements. A spider weaves a web for other things to be caught. But if you're that kind of a spider, you build a web in which you are caught, you're a stupid spider, isn't it? And most human beings are in that condition. If something significant happens here, you are going this way. If something really significant happened this way, you can go this way. Your arrangements will not trap you. This is an intelligent life. If you are smart enough, you will make arrangements that support you, not arrangements that entangle you, isn't it? Jesus is not a good man. Maybe he's wonderful, but not a good man. If you don't let that man rise within you, then you will remain good and dead. That part of you which has been kept dead for too long, it's time to raise it. Whatever we are referring to as Jesus is not about some man 2000 years ago. It's about a certain possibility within every human being. So that has to rise. It's not that there is no Jesus in you, it's just you kept him hung, impotent. He needs little empowerment. He needs to be raised. So the whole effort